This is Fancy. I am a fighter of Numenor, and I've been fighting for about 2 years now. I go by she, her, and I'm interviewing this lovely person. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Bolg. I don't have an associated realm or unit. I've been fighting for about 8 years, and I am he, him.
All right. And what we are going to be talking about today is a very special event that we will be having at this year's Oktoberfest, which is called the Chimera's Head Tavern. If you want to just explain what that is and where it will be held.
So, the Chimera's Head Tavern will be held in the Library Barn, which is just next to the general store at Billy Creek Village. And I think our goal for the Chimera's Head Tavern is to sort of emulate what you might expect to find in a sort of fantasy tavern. There's also a bit of real history mixed in there about what you would have done at a real medieval tavern, and we'll have, drinks of course, but we'll also have card tables, and there'll be a fighting arena. We'll get into all of that, but we really, at its core, we want to emulate what a fantasy tavern would have been like.
Okay. And are you assisting just Chimera, or who all is helping with this event?
I am our head bartender, so myself and my assistant bartenders will be serving drinks. House Chimera and Tularin will be the arena responsible for the arena, and they are our arena masters. Um, the unit Grayscale, as well as some people from my own home field at Purdue University, are helping out with security and drinks for the tavern. Uh, and just a lot of other units have donated things to the tavern, whether that be things for the auction or alcohol or non-alcoholic beverages. So it is quite literally too many people for me to list all of them, even if I could remember.
There's a lot of heads in that tavern. I guess that's the name. Chimera's head. Chimera has a bunch of heads. So, when will this event be, and how late is it expected to run?
So we expect that we'll get started around 7:30 Friday night, and depending on how the staff feels and how the crowd feels, we think we'll probably have last call at around 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, but we'll see how it works out. We want to do what's best for the crowd, especially with doing our auction. I really want to make sure that as many people participate in the auction as possible.
Okay. And what all events or things will actually be at this tavern? What all is there for people to watch, do, be a part of?
So we will have, of course, an open bar. That's the center point of the tavern itself, and we have quite a robust menu of drinks. Oh, I accidentally unshared my screen because I'm a doofus.
That's okay.
Let's see here, drink menu. There we go. So we have quite a robust menu of drinks that we will be serving, and this isn't the full list quite yet. I'm not even sure if I can fit the full list on here, especially since the bar is taking donations. So that's definitely something that if you hear about this and you think, man, that's really cool, we will take closed bottle donations uh, of the alcoholic variety if that's something that you're interested in donating. But this is kind of our this is what I'm certain will be there right now. So this is the menu that I feel comfortable sharing. We've got traditional drafts, domestic beers. We've also got two home brewers, myself and Redbeard, have meads that are going in. We've got them by the bottle and on tap, as Redbeard has generously provided a keg manifold and a CO2 tank to charge them. So we will have on tap beverages that will be carbonated on site. We also have, I think, quite a robust cocktail bar, serving mostly rum drinks, but there is some gin, some vodka drinks in there as well. Got a few of my own concoctions in there, as well as more traditional cocktails. And then something I'm very proud of, I have what I'm calling the bartender stash, and it is my private collection of liquors that I think are very good. They're the cream of the crop, so to speak, and they include several high-end rums. that you can switch out into some of the cocktails if you donate to the bar, or if you're a member of the staff, you can also get access to the bartender's stash. And I also have a top shelf cocktail that I'm calling El Diablo, which is a riff on a margarita,
Hmm.
which uses a habanero pepper simple syrup. And it does burn, so be aware of that. It is quite the spicy margarita. Also, I went and got a very nice bottle of tequila to go into these cocktails. So I'm very proud of the bar. It's really my baby for this event. Um, so I'm very happy about that. But we also do have tavern games as well.
Okay.
Here.
And for these drinks and everything, is there like a cost for people to get them, or how does just somebody walk up and order, or I'm just curious how that part goes.
As long as you're wearing a 21 and over wristband, you can order alcohol from the bar. It is an open bar. Again, we do take donations of alcohol, and there will also be a tip jar. So if you wanna tip the bartenders, a lot of us have put into the bar out of our own pockets, but that's absolutely not necessary. We did that knowing that this was what was going to happen to it, and we're completely dedicated to making sure this is a good time. So please drink it all, leave not a drop.
Great.
The only thing that is restricted is the bartender's stash. I put that together specifically for people who donated to the auction, donated to the bar, and people that work in the tavern. Um, it's the reward for helping out for this event. It's that you get access to the very nice high end stuff if that's your thing. Um,
Okay, cool. And then, are there any food options or anything like that?
there are no solid food options that I would feel comfortable promising. I heard the Rangers say they were going to bake a bunch of lembas bread, and I know that the chili contest is going on at the same time. So I know that all the units that don't uh, finish off their chili in their camp have been invited to serve the rest of it in the tavern if they should desire to do so. So the event does not have plans for food, but there is food available in the area.
Okay, great. And then I know that I've heard at least that there are going to be like some sort of a dagger tournament. I know last year they did have some action with the daggers, so can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I can. If I can pull the right visual aid up. There we go. And I unshared my screen again. So, a dork.
It's okay.
So this is a rough draft of some of the rules we've come up with for the various game modes that you can enter the arena and participate in. My arena master, Tularen, will be determining what goes on when. Obviously, if you want to do something, you can ask Tularen to roll with that rule set. But this is just sort of our basic array of game modes that we're going with right now. Um, we've got just your basic dagger pit. We're going to give two contestants a dagger. It will be the best of 3 rounds. 2 contestants enter, one leaves. You can also fight in teams for the dagger pit, of teams of 3, and we'll let you go 9 rounds, best of 9. It will still be one-on-one contestants, but you're allowed to fight as a team and send your best out and actively counter the other team. So there's a little bit more strategy in that. Tularen came up with these names, not me. So he calls this robbing a gentleman. The idea being a nice nobleman and his sword walking down the lane and mugged by a thief who just has their 2 daggers. We will also have general dueling where you will be allowed to bring your own weapons. So that is encouraged for you to bring your own weapons. If you have beef with another fighter, get in the arena and work it out. And in this case, you can actually do it for money or for coins that can be used in the auction later.
Okay.
And up here again, when this is released as a flyer, I'll have all of this on here. We have house betting rules. bets against the house are 1-to-1, so you bet 1 coin, and if you win, you get 2 coins, and so on and so forth up the chain. As much as you're willing to bet, the house will always match that. Side betting is encouraged. Unless otherwise stated, a contestant is paid 1 coin for entering the ring, plus 10% of the losing bets if they win. So that's just keeping it simple for us there, 'cause this is our first time doing this. Other game modes we have red swords, where we allow 2 fighters into the ring. They will both have min red swords, and they'll be allowed to fight it out that way. I'm very proud of this because Tularen came up with this. I thought it was a really good idea. We're calling it David versus Goliath, where you will be allowed to fight one of the arena bosses, myself or the Ranger Thenduin, assuming he is fit for fighting. I know he's injured his elbow recently, so we're not sure if we're going to have just me or me and Thenduin. But we wear full plate armor, and we are calling that invincible at this time. The challenger will be allowed a blue and a shield. The arena boss will also be given a blue and a shield. And the goal is for the contestant to find the gap in the armor, or otherwise kill us without going through the armor. Whereas in normal Belagarth rules, it would absorb 1 hit. The goal here is that the armor will absorb as much punishment as you can throw at it, and your goal will be to find our weak spot. And we do have them. They're not always easy to find, but we do have weak spots. Both Thenduin and I, our armor is not perfect. It doesn't cover everything. It is a big risk to attempt it. It costs 1 coin to enter the arena with the boss. But if you win, you take the entire losing betting pot, which is probably going to be a lot of coins, because I can't imagine it'd be a good bet to bet on the guy going against the arena boss or gal.
It's funny that you name it David and Goliath. I think it'd be funny if you just had a random rock just laying around. Of course, wouldn't really count because I don't believe it counts for head armor, but that would just be a funny touch.
I mean, if you, and I'm not saying you should do this, if you opened, I think my helmet is the only one that actually has a visor. Thenduin has just a great helm, but I have a visor, and if you were to open it and throw a rock at my face, that would kill me.
Well, that could be a challenge in itself. Now, I am seeing on this little list that you have here an archer duel. That's got me a little excited because I'm an archer myself. So what's going on with that one?
So this is, again, something Tularen came up with, where each archer will stand on a shield at a set distance, and at their feet will be a bow and 5 arrows. And your objective is to hit your opponent without stepping off of the shield. You can dodge while standing on the shield if you want, obviously, and move around and try and get them not to hit you. And that will just follow the normal betting rules, so people can bet on who they think will win. And if you shoot your opponent, again, you'll get 1 coin for entering the arena, regardless. Whether you win or lose, you get 1 coin. And 10% of the losing betting pot.
Okay.
That was just our attempt to come up with game modes that suited everybody's loadout.
Yeah. Are the bows provided, or is this something where you can bring your own or anything like that?
I am not certain of that right now. It seems like House Chimera will be providing a lot of these weapons. I do believe they have bows prepared for the archer duels. It is always a good bet to bring your own weapons. If you have something that you're more comfortable with, you're definitely welcome to bring your own bow into the arena, as long as it passes Belagarth rule standards.
Okay. And then one question I thought of now, I know that the other ones are, bring your own weapon, general duels. Is armor allowed for any of those, do you know?
General duel, I would say it's a good bet that armor would be allowed. I think... without stepping on Tularen's toes, anything else, you would probably want to check that with the arena master.
Okay.
To see what he wants to allow. He's told me a couple times now that he really just wants to go with what gets the crowd going. So if you can convince him and he lets you in, that's up to him. I hope that happens. I'd love to see some armored fights in the pit.
Okay. That'd be nice. Armor against armor.
I'm actually that brings me on to another really cool point. I'm not quite sure if it's going to work out yet because again, Thenduin has injured his elbow, and hopefully we hope he recovers. Fingers crossed. Um, but we had an idea at one point to put myself in full plate and Thenduin in the ring, and we have a whole rule system worked up for us to be able to really let loose and embrace the protection of our armor to its fullest in a sort of Iron Duel style uh, fight that would happen at the end of the night.
Okay, that'd be nice. Because I believe, if we're going off of like official Belligarth rules, I think that if you have the same class armor, you can grapple another person of that armor. Am I correct, or I just
That
can't?
is correct, and we're not perfect, but we do match. We have protection in all the areas, and we've gone through all the steps of making sure that we have closed gauntlets, closed helmets. So if it happens, we are prepared to really let loose in there. And so our rules for that fight have been agreed upon between myself, Thenduin, and the arena master to be headshots are going to be allowed. We are going to be given foam weapons, but we will be allowed to throw headshots.
Okay.
The loser is not a matter of where you get hit. The loser is the first person to touch the ground with something other than their foot. Unless we are in a grapple. If we are locked in a grapple, the match will be decided by the first person to be pinned, or by the herald if it is otherwise undeterminable by the two fighters.
Hmm. That sounds fun. Hopefully, you guys will be able to have that because that sounds like a good ender. You know, one final hurrah, and then
We're
that's it.
we're very excited about it. When I told Thenduin about the idea, he was all for it.
Great. And then I see there's something about target shooting. What is that? I think it's harder to make out, but I believe it says archery.
Yes, that is where an archer will shoot or throw, or will shoot a bow, or you can throw a javelin, and your goal is to hit a head-sized target in the form of a shield, poking out from behind another shield. The idea being it's the same as someone poking their head out from behind their shield, and your goal is to hit them in the head. You pay 1 coin to make the attempt, and the house will add another coin for every successful shot you make. So you're allowed to continue shooting basically until you either fail or decide that you don't want to play anymore. However, if you miss, you forfeit all your gains.
Mm.
So it's a very high risk and high reward game. You know, if you could make 10 coins and then one miss will lose it all.
Mm. Tricky. Could definitely take a lot of skill. And then I see that there's a bardic challenge. I can't quite read it because it's a little bit too small, but what does that entail?
So we have if you request the arena master to start a bardic challenge, and you can provide 3 to 5 contestants, you can attempt to impress the crowd and have a reward paid out by the arena master. I don't have a set reward with Tularan right now. It will be as he sees fit. You will also be allowed to take tips. So if people want to throw coins into the arena, those are all yours. And that goes for any of these. If participants have coins thrown at them by the crowd, they're more than welcome to take those. We count those as tips for the contestants. We'll see if maybe we allow the patrons that are surrounding the ring to maybe throw rocks at people too.
Instead of tomatoes.
Instead of tomatoes, yes.
That'll be a nice touch. And then I kind of see that you have a quarterstaff duel. I know that there's at least one person that has a quarterstaff, so I'm sure he's really excited about that.
So that's one that, again, Tularan is very excited about because House Chimera has a number of quarterstaffs that I know they are going to include just for this because their idea is that a lot of people have never used a quarterstaff, so that might be fun to let people into the ring with quarterstaffs and see what they can do in duels.
Yeah, I know if you talk to Kiro, which is a member of House Chimera, he loves quarterstaffs and he always recommends them. He's built them for people, so he definitely can talk your ear off about how interesting they are, and he's pretty skilled with it. So it's not quite the old style where they're so heavy. They've definitely gotten lighter, which is nice. So it's not quite. What was that show where you fought gladiators, American Gladiator? Because when I think of a quarterstaff, I think of that, but his is very thin and very different compared to those.
Right, right. Well, like I said, Tularan was very excited and was very happy to include that in our game modes. And of course, anything that someone's devious little mind can come up with, if you can pitch it to Lauren and he's good with letting that happen, and anything goes in this pit. Our my vision when he pitched me this idea was, uh, I can remember my very first time going to my first event, which was Ragnarok, going and fighting in the Thunderdome, and I have missed that ever since I stopped going to Ragnarok. I've missed having some sort of Thunderdome, and we hope that this will be that kind of experience where there's lots of people cheering and you just feel in the moment you feel like a gladiator.
That'll be nice. I've heard many tales of the Thunderdome, and me being a newer fighter, you can only hear about it, but it's different when you've experienced it. And so many people, I've encountered so many people that have talked about that specific event. So if this is anywhere close to that, I'm sure, all the new fighters will be talking about it from time to come.
That is our hope. That especially I come from a home field at a college university, and I have a lot of my new fighters coming to this event. This is their first event, so I'm hoping this is a very formative experience for them.
Great. And then, of course, there's rules when you enter in the tournament, which we've gone over for the different categories, but what are all of the prizes for the winners? Is it just coins, and what do those coins do?
So we are giving away coins as the prizes for fighting in the arena. I have a document for how you earn coins. And yay, this time I actually remembered not to close my screen share. Yay for me.
Yay!
So this is a basic document that I had planned to release on how you earn coins. Most of these I've got confirmed with other events that are running around the event grounds. So of course you could fight in the arena, and you could get coins doing that. We expect that will be at least half of how people increase their amount of coins. But you can also, for every class you complete, you will earn 1 coin. I've already spoken with the gentleman running classes, and he has agreed to pass those out to the instructors so that they can hand those out once you complete a class. You can complete a volunteer shift, and that can be either with the event or with the tavern. I will pay anyone who